Have you ever found yourself blaming somebody for something that happened to you or something you feel? I know I have, and I know better. However, there's something very compelling about blame. Like, we all tend to do it. There's this natural inclination to blame other people when we are upset. And we all should know better. It tends to backfire. So instead of the other person being sympathetic to what you're saying, they oppose you and they counter complain, or they cross argue, or they try to prove that you're wrong. And it makes relationships into something adversarial rather than something collaborative. So blame tends to be very destructive, and it's easy for me to sit here and pontificate about what a bad idea it is. But in fact, even that information will be swamped and flooded away in a tidal flow from your reptilian brain when you get upset. Your prefrontal cortex no longer seems to be working. It's gone offline, and you are irresistibly drawn towards blame. So what is that? What makes it so convincing that that's a good idea at the moment? There are a variety of reasons. One is that there's a sense of power. It's the power of victimization. Being victimized, I now have rights. I have rights to get you to do what I want. And it's very compelling because the other person may feel guilty, and you can use that to extract whatever you want from them. It also takes any responsibility for the badness in the relationship off of your shoulders, so you don't have to feel guilty, because the other person who did it, you don't have to talk about your contribution to it. And so it relieves you of any sense of badness. And if you have any issues around self-esteem, if you're one of those people that doesn't feel perfectly about yourself, and that would include about 99.9999% of people, then there's something good about it. There's also something about the anger that goes with blame that draws people in, because it feels better to be active in that way than to be squashed by helplessness and powerlessness, and that it's like an ally. So there are a variety of reasons. It also enables you to ask for what you want in a very indirect way, so you don't have to be vulnerable in how you ask. You can complain about the other person and blame them for not giving you what you want. So it clues them into what you would like, but you don't actually have to be vulnerable in order to reach out for it. So all of those work together, and then it looks like a better idea to say, you never wash the dishes, as opposed to, would you help me wash the dishes? And that then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you can look for your underlying feelings and your underlying needs in any communication and communicate them in the most direct and collaborative and generous way you can find, you'll be ahead of the game. And you can study your inclination to blame instead of doing that. And that may begin to give you a little bit of a foothold to step back from something that is often very destructive in relationships.